Welcome back. This is Newsnight on ENCA. Don't threaten, revoke. That's the National Union of Mine Workers. That's what they want. Mineral Resources and Energy Minister Mantashe to follow through on his threat to cancel Sibanye-Stillwater's mining license. Workers have been on strike for nearly 3 months over wage demands at Sibanye's gold mines. Last week, Sibanye CEO Neil Froneman said that the company could withstand a strike for years if need be, after which Mantashe retorted that his department could remove the company's mining rights if they are not used. And now the NUM wants him to do exactly that. For more, let's bring in the NUM General Secretary, William Mabapa. Good evening, and thank you for joining me, Mr. Mabapa. So you are saying that the minister should not just threaten the invocation of Section 47 of the Minerals and Petroleum Resources Development Act, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting that act mixed up, but that section of the law, you are saying he should pull the trigger?
Yeah, we think that he should pull the trigger. And the reason why we are saying that is that we are making an observation that Sibanye management think of themselves. Because, for example, in many of the time they were saying, we have rejected the issue of the profit sharing. Now, we met with them last week, and then we asked them that, what are these things that you are telling the public that we rejected the profit sharing? What are you talking about? And then they then came to us and make proposal about the so-called profit sharing. What is painful is that in that profit sharing, they are proposing to pay the workers 377, but that they will pay in 2024. Now you can imagine they paid 300 million to the CEO. They didn't pay in 2024. They say they will pay the workers in 2024, but they are going to pay them 377. So you ask yourself, what type of a profit sharing is 377? So, but to us is the time that, you see, the problem that we have is that year in, year out, you have wage negotiation in Sibanye, and all this time they end up with the strikes. And when you can make calculations, like we make calculations, that with one person, the company, what we are demanding, probably make 324 million per annum. That is only 24 million difference from what one person get, which is the CEO. We are not talking about the 800 million that was paid to the executives. But that this worries us because if you look at the shareholding of Sibanye, the biggest shareholder of Sibanye is the PIC, which is the employee pension fund employees. So the workers' money is used against the other workers. And that is something that I'm sure trade unions must start to look at. How do we invest in areas where our money are used to exploit another workers but when we ourselves are the workers?
Just back to this
those
issue
are
of
the issues that we are also raising. Sure. But we are also worried about the silence of the chairperson of Sibanye board and the board of Sibanye. That what is happening there? Are they just a board to be paid board fees, or are the board that needs to come and intervene and understand what are the problems? Why can't you resolve your problems? So that we can then talk to them, because we have realized that you can't solve the problems with Sibanye management. They are just white guys who don't understand anything about a black person.
Now, to many industry outsiders, just outside looking in, it seems the revocation of mining rights would perhaps be something of a nuclear option, basically that says, almost like a scorched earth policy that says we simply cannot fix it, let's burn it down to the ground under the circumstances. Have things really gotten that bad? I mean, I'm saying that you are saying that you've been negotiating. Someone would suggest that, you know, for as long as you are negotiating, you've not reached that point where you go for the nuclear option.
Look, we started these wage negotiations. These wage negotiations, they are on the 11th month. Next month, in June, next week in June, we will be having 12 months. Now, I don't understand that. How do you negotiate for the whole term? Because under any normal circumstances, you negotiate even 3 months prior to the expiry of the agreement. So we have negotiated in June last year, the agreement that we had expired. Now we further negotiated. The term of the second agreement that we are negotiating for the 12 months, in June, it will expire. That means in June, we will have been in the negotiations for more than 12 months. Now, we don't understand that why, how can you negotiate for a 1,000, just 1,100 rand on living out allowance, and then you must negotiate for more than 12 months, and somebody tells you that you must still continue and negotiate, then the question is how long? So the reality of the matter is that that company has got problems. One of the problems that they have, it is a matter that in them.
Mr. Mabapa, I suspect you've muted yourself once again. Please just unmute and then continue making your point.
Maybe it is something that they were learned that in the past they used just to come and say this is the offer that the workers will be given, and along those lines there is a way that the matter is closed. So when they find a situation where we are saying enough is enough, we can't negotiate with other employers who are giving us, as we speak, I can show you more than 4 agreements where employers are giving us 1,500. Now, when the biggest mining house in the country are saying we can't afford to pay the workers 1,000.
Mr. Mabapa, because of time, let me just try and push you, and let's see if we can squeeze out 2 questions very quickly. Revoke the mining, gold mining licenses of Sibanye-Stillwater, then what? Share with us what your thinking process is. What comes next after the revocation that you are calling for?
I think the reality of the matter is that we do have miners. We do have companies that are prepared to mine in South Africa, and I'm sure some of them, they can't be approved because of maybe the lack of resources of where they can go and mine. So we take it that the mines are ready. Even Sibanye bought some of these mines from Anglo Gold Ashanti and some from Goldfields. So we are hopeful that there are miners that are prepared to mine and still share the profits that they are getting with the workers. So those miners then can take over the mines. I will take it that if that can be revoked, there are companies that can come and take those mines. And
but are there companies that can come?
Company can take them.
But are there companies that can come and take over that easily, Mr. Mabapa? In the context of what we just saw through the Fraser report, for example, that says South Africa is one of the least attractive countries in terms of mining investment, but also in the broader conversation that government has been driving around investor confidence. As I speak to you now, I've been seeing some of this being reported, the comments of the minister being reported in some of the international media, with Sibanye saying, for instance, that they will head to court if they have to defend their right to mine.
I think going to court is normal and is democratic. We have seen many things that doesn't even warrant to go to court, even taken by the very same Sibanye that they lost. I don't think that threatening that you'll go to court is something very new. They went to court several times. They also lost several times. But the reality of the matter is that we must understand we are talking on the mines that are profitable, on the sense that the very same Sibanye, on the 3rd of March, they made a pronouncement about their finances, and they made a profit of 28 billion. So they didn't make a loss. So we are not talking of a loss-making mines. Yeah. We are talking of the mines that are making money. And I will take it that whoever can get the opportunity will invest in those mines because they are making profit.
All right. I've got to thank you for your time. And of course, we all know about the pay package that Neil Froneman received, 300 million rand. It is reported to be. That's part of the context there for that conversation. William Mabapa is General Secretary of the National Union of Mine Workers, joining us here on Newsnight on ENCA.